Imagine waking up every day knowing exactly who you need to be, no doubts, no excuses, no more of that voice in your head saying, "I'll start tomorrow." The samurai of feudal Japan didn't have that option for them. Weakness wasn't just a character flaw, it was a death sentence, and so they developed something that goes far beyond fighting techniques or physical discipline. They created a complete system for human forging. A method that transforms not only your body, but completely reconstructs your mind. We are talking about Bushido, the way of the warrior, and Shugyo, the austere training. And here's what nobody tells you. These philosophies weren't made to be pretty. They were made to work on real battlefields, with real consequences. You've probably heard of Japanese discipline, samurai, and honor. But what really happened when a young warrior entered a dojo for the first time? What did he go through? How was he broken and rebuilt? And more importantly, how can you apply this same method today in the 21st century without needing to wield a sword? Before continuing, if you enjoy this type of content about Eastern philosophies, wisdom, and Japanese tradition, like the video and click the hype button. This really helps the channel reach more people. Also, comment below. I reject weakness. Comment this as a symbol that you will take a new direction in your life. Now, let's go to the video. Chapter 1. Bushido. Bushido, 3 Japanese characters that literally mean the way of the warrior. But make no mistake, it's not just any path. It is the path. The only path a samurai could follow if he wanted to survive. And more than that, if he wanted to live with purpose. Bushido originated between the 12th and 16th centuries. During Japan's feudal period. It was a brutal time. Clans constantly warred for control of territories. Betrayal was common. Death was a daily occurrence, and in this context of total chaos, a fundamental question arose: how do you create warriors who don't run away? How do you forge men who choose death over dishonor? The answer was Bushido. It wasn't just a code of conduct, it was a complete philosophy of life, a way to completely restructure the human mind. Bushido was based on 7 fundamental virtues: righteousness, doing what is right. Always. Even when no one is watching. How to courage. Not the absence of fear, but taking action. Despite of fear. Compassion. Strength without kindness is merely brutality. Respect, recognizing the value in everyone without arrogance. Makoto, honesty, your word is your life. Mayo, honor, your reputation is more important than your life. Chugi, loyalty, absolute commitment to one's master, family, and purpose. Now pay attention. These virtues were not optional. They were not suggestions. They were the framework that kept a samurai alive, mentally and physically. A samurai who violated these virtues had 2 options: be executed or commit seppuku, ritual suicide. Because living without honor was worse than death. Think about it for a second. Imagine living in a society where your word is literally worth more than your life. Where you'd rather die than admit you lied. Where weakness isn't just shameful, it's unacceptable. Does it seem extreme? Does it seem extreme? It is extreme. But it's a system that worked. And it created some of the most disciplined, focused, and efficient warriors in human history. Now let me tell you a story. 16th century. A young man named Takeda enters the dojo of a famous master. He is 14 years old. He has just lost his father in battle. His family has been decimated. He has nothing. Only the clothes on his back and a promise he made to his father before he died. I will become strong. The master looks at him and says, "Strength? You don't know what strength is, but I'll teach you if you survive." For the first 6 months, Takeda didn't touch a sword. No techniques. No combat. He cleaned the dojo. He carried water. He washed clothes. He served tea. He woke before dawn. He went to sleep after everyone else. And for every mistake, spilled water. Lukewarm tea, disrespectful movement. He was reprimanded. This is Bushido. Before learning to fight, you learn to serve. Before conquering external strength, you conquer internal strength. Because the master knew, a warrior without humility is dangerous. A warrior without basic discipline is useless. After 6 months, Takeda finally picked up a wooden sword. And he practiced the same moves. 1,000 times a day. Every day. For months. When he asked the master, "When will I learn advanced techniques?" the master replied, "When these basic movements become a part of you. When you no longer think about them. When these movements flow naturally, like breathing." It took Takeda 2 years for this to happen. And only then, the real training has begun. Let's make something clear here. I'm not telling you to literally live the same lifestyle as the samurai from feudal Japan. We know they lived in a different time. A much more brutal era. Where nobody had comfort. Where nobody had room for error. If a samurai made a mistake in battle, it would cost him his life. What I am teaching here is that you apply the life philosophy of these warriors to your daily life. Apply discipline. Commitment. Apply the principles of righteousness. Courage. Compassion. Respect. Honesty. Honor. And loyalty. In this way, you will live like a modern samurai living the warrior's path. But there's still a very important piece missing from this puzzle. Chapter 2. Shugyo. Now that you understand Bushido, the code, let's move on to the execution method. Shugyo. Austere training. But that translation doesn't do it justice. Shugyo is not training. It is forging. It's about being broken and rebuilt. It's voluntary suffering with a purpose. The samurai believed in a simple and brutal idea. You only discover who you truly are when you're at the absolute limit of your body and mind. Comfort hides weakness. Ease masks incompetence. Only in extreme cases can you see yourself clearly. Therefore, Shugyo involved practices that would seem like madness today. Misoji. Purification beneath icy waterfalls at dawn, in winter, for hours. Takigyo. Meditation while standing under a waterfall with the water cascading forcefully over your head. Kangeiko. Intense training in the extreme cold of winter. No warm-up. No breaks. Shogugako. Intense training in the scorching summer heat. And we're not talking about training for an hour or two. We're talking about sessions that lasted all day. Weeks. Or even months. The goal? To eliminate it completely. Ego. You know that little voice in your head that says, "This is too difficult. I can't do it. This isn't for me." Shugyo destroys that voice. Because when you're on your 100th day of grueling training, not sleeping properly, not eating enough, with your body screaming to stop, and you not fall, something changes. You realize that voice isn't you. It's just fear. It's just temporary weakness. and it can be ignored. Let me give you a real example. Miyamoto Musashi, the most legendary samurai in Japan. Musashi won more than 60 deadly duels in his life. And do you know how he trained? He isolated himself in the mountains for years. Alone. Without a master. Without a dojo. He wrote in his book, The Book of Five Rings. I'm not a master in anything. Around the age of 30, I looked back and saw that my victories weren't due to understanding the strategy. So I started training morning and night to seek the deep principle. At 50, I naturally arrived at the path of strategy. Since then, I have lived without needing to follow the path of others. This is Shugyo. You don't follow a method. You becomes the method. Musashi literally reprogrammed his brain through intentional suffering. He eliminated hesitation. He eliminated doubt. He eliminated fear. And when he entered a battle, he had already won. Because mentally, he was unshakable. Chapter 3. Modern application. Now you might be thinking, okay, but I'm not a samurai. I'm not going to meditate under an icy waterfall. How do I apply this to my real life? Great question. And the answer is simpler than it seems. Bushido and Shugyo are not about swords or armor. They are about timeless principles of human development. And these principles work in any context. Academia, work, relationships, career, personal life. Let me translate each virtue of Bushido into your modern life. GI. Righteousness. Do the right thing even when no one is watching. Don't cheat on your diet. Don't skip your workout. Don't lie at work. Integrity in everything. You. Courage. Have difficult conversations. Confront your fears. Make that call. Send that message. Make that decision. Jin. Compassion. Be strong but not cruel. Help those in need. Teach those who don't know. Strengthen those around you. Ray. Respect. Treat everyone with dignity. From the CEO to the janitor. From your boss to the waiter. Respect knows no hierarchy. Makoto. Honesty. Your word is sacred. If you said you would do it, do it. If you promise something, keep your promise. Meo honra. Build a solid reputation. Be known for consistency. Be that person who always delivers. Chugi loyalty. Commit fully to your family, to your goals, to your word, no half measures. Now let's move on to Shugyo. The practical application. 1. Choose your voluntary discomfort. Samurai had icy waterfalls. You have the gym at 5 a.m., or that difficult project. Or learning a new skill. Choose something that your brain feels uncomfortable doing. And do it daily. No negotiation. But be careful, as I've already taught in other videos about Kaizen, which is continuous improvement. You can't expect to change everything in your life overnight. So don't try to do 5 extremely uncomfortable things. This can backfire, generating so much stress that you might break down and return to where you started. So choose just one uncomfortable thing for now, and do it daily. 2. Train to the extreme. He doesn't just train when he's motivated. He trains especially when noise bad days. Tired days. Days without motivation. These are the days that truly matter. Because it's on these days that you reprogram your mind. 3. Eliminate leaks. The samurai. They didn't have Netflix. They didn't have social media. They didn't have endless distractions. You have it. And these escapes are killing your potential. Identify your escape routes. The things you use to avoid discomfort. And cut them out. Learn to give your brain strategic rewards. And don't use your rewards as escapes. Create a personal challenge. And decide what reward you will give yourself. For example, if I go to the gym tonight, I'll be able to watch that episode I've been wanting to see. If I read 10 pages of my book today, I'll be able to go for a walk. Create your own challenges and your own rewards. 4. Create unbreakable rituals. The samurai. They had rigid routines. Wake up, meditate, train, eat, train, sleep every day. Without exception, you need the same. Create a morning routine. Create a workout routine. Create a study routine. And follow it religiously. No matter what happens. But remember that everyday life isn't a 100% controlled environment. Unforeseen events can happen. Something can get out of your control. You might need to travel. Or have an emergency. On those days, you can adapt your routine. Remember that the samurai were extremely disciplined. But they also knew how to adapt to any adversity. Just as water flows on any surface. 5. Practice the death of the ego. Accept criticism. Ask for feedback. Admit when you're wrong. Be humble. Your ego is your greatest weakness. It prevents you from growing. Destroy your ego daily. Psychologist Mihaly, who has studied human performance for decades, discovered something fascinating. The happiest and most fulfilled people are not those who avoid challenges. They are those who voluntarily put themselves in difficult situations and overcome them repeatedly. He was, without knowing it, describing Shugyo. Neuroscientist Andrew Huberman explains that when you do something difficult, especially early in the morning, you release dopamine in a healthy way. You train your brain to associate effort with reward. That's exactly what the samurai did. They didn't know anything about science as we know it today, but they knew the result. And modern studies of neuroplasticity confirm this. You literally rebuild your brain through repeated discipline. Every time you do something difficult, new neural connections are formed. You become a different person. Biologically different. This is not a metaphor. It's science. But there's one detail that almost no one talks about regarding Bushido. The samurai had a concept called Ishigo Ichi. A chance. An encounter. The idea that each moment is unique and will never be repeated. That's why they lived with such intensity. Because they knew. This opportunity you have now to change, to grow, to become stronger may not exist tomorrow. That workout you're thinking of skipping. Maybe it's the one that would change everything. That difficult conversation you've been avoiding. It might be the one that defines your next year. Ishigo Ichi. Now or never. So let's recap. You learned about Bushido. The complete code that structured the life of a samurai through 7 fundamental virtues. You learned about Shugyo. The brutal method of forging through intentional discomfort. And you learned how to apply that today in your life without needing a sword or armor. But now comes the most important part. Knowledge without action is entertainment. And you didn't come here to be entertained. You came to make a change. So let me ask you a direct question. What will your Shugyo be? What difficult thing will you choose to do every single day without exception for the next 30 days? Gym at 5 a.m.? Intermittent fasting? Cold shower? Studying for 2 hours a day? Working on that project you always avoid? Choose one thing. Now. And commit to it. Because the samurai understood something that most people will never understand. You don't become strong by avoiding weakness. You become strong by destroying your weakness daily. And that hurts. It will hurt every day. But pain with purpose rebuilds you. Pain without purpose only breaks you. So choose. What will you be? Another person who he knows but it does nothing? Or someone who rejects weakness and forges themselves daily? If this video impacted you in any way, if you're truly ready to begin your own forging journey, comment below what your personal Shugyo will be. What challenge will you face over the next 30 days? Because when you put it into words, you make a public commitment. And public commitment is incredibly powerful. See you in the next video. Until then, reject weakness. Always.